Hello everyone, my name's Stephen Lyon and welcome to another SafeSend video. Now today's video is going to be just a little bit different. I'm going to be giving my honest review and honest reaction of the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie. That's right, I'm going to be showing all the cameos, talking about my feedback, and I am obviously just kidding. That is not what we're going to be doing today. What we're actually here to discuss is our July 27th product release. I'm going to talk about all the cool things that just came out, and I'm going to show you what I can, and whatever I can't, feel free to reach out to our support team and get more information on. Let's go ahead and jump into the release notes for that July 27th release. I'm going to try not to edit myself too much for this video, so we're just going to go ahead and talk through it. Okay, so July 27th, we had a release to SafeSend One, the artist formerly known as the SafeSend Suite. First, we're going to talk about is Gather AI. So Gather is the next generation in tax preparation tooling. Can help you with the first mile of the tax return process. Basically, what we're going to do is allow you to get e-signatures on engagement letters or any other document, generate those custom questionnaires, collect important documents through a document request list. And we are not going to require the upload of the traditional organizer. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at that. So when you log in, if you wanted to upgrade to the premium tier and get Gather, we can go ahead and open Gather up, and we can start a Gather process. We hit new Gather here, and what the system is going to do is give us the ability to choose which of the items we want the client to complete. We'll call them tasks. So we can choose just one, just signing, or two, just signing and asking custom questions, but we can also do all four. So I'll create all four here, and we're gonna hit get started. Now, because I chose to upload the traditional organizer, we're gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna select that and my tax here, and I'm gonna go drag my organizer over. Now, two cool things about Gather that really I want to talk about, and that is the modularity. Being able to send just one of those tasks or two of those tasks without sending everything is just awesome. The second piece is the document request list, or DRL as I'll probably refer to it throughout this video. And that is an AI generated document request list that we will automatically generate based off of the info that's in this organizer. So when I hit submit here, we're going to take a couple seconds to process it. And when it's ready, we're going to go ahead and click process, and we'll go ahead and fill it out. So here on the client information, we can search for a current client, but I already have that client in there. We're just going to go ahead and enter that client's email address. Choose the office location and the ERO that is assigned to this Gather. Hit next, and we have the organizer. So what we'll do is convert this organizer to a fillable PDF that your client can go ahead and fill out when they're going through it, but you do not have to send the organizer. Even if you upload it here, we actually have an option to deliver it without the fillable organizer. So when we talk about that document request list, I'll talk about why that's important here in just a second. We hit next, we have our engagement letter, so we can go ahead and place our signature, where is it here? We can place our signature and date blocks on it. Okay, that is completed, and we get to our custom questionnaire. Again, we can create templates of questions that we'll ask the client, and these are questions that we want to know the answer to, and they can be dynamic. So if we answer yes to marital status, it can ask a secondary question of what's your spouse's name and date of birth or anything like that. Okay, we'll hit next, and we'll get to the document request list. So here, as you can see, all I did was upload that organizer, and our system, using AI recognition, went through and generated a document request list automatically based off the information that was in that previous year organizer. Now, a lot of firms are moving away from the traditional organizer, and that's totally fine. So if you don't want to include the organizer, but you still want to use Gather for this AI portion of the DRL generation, you can go back to that organizer and check the box that says deliver without the fillable organizer. And that will not send the organizer task, but it still allows you to auto-generate that document request list here for the client. Now, of course, you can tinker here. You can remove items that are no longer applicable. You can add documents if you absolutely need to, or you can just use a template that you have pre-built in your SafeSend Exchange. We can bring those templates over and apply those templates to the DRL here. That's really it. We'll go to the delivery. We have some options here. We're going to choose who we want notifications sent to. We have a new feature here in this Gather that's really cool. That is a percentage completion notification that we will send to whichever user you would like based off of how many documents the client has uploaded onto the document request list. So if the client uploads 50%, once they hit that threshold, we'll email you folks and let you know. Now we're going to have a different video that's going to show the client side of Gather. So I'm going to go ahead and just get back to the release notes. But if you want more information on Gather, please reach out to us and see other videos that should be coming here shortly. Okay, so to the SafeSend Suite in general, user management enhancements, office locations cannot be updated for a primary admin from the user management. This just is going to make sure the primary admin field is read-only. No one can change it, ensuring proper access management there. TickTime Calculate, for those folks that are using TickTime Calculate, we have implemented single sign-on. So if the firm is using single sign-on with Microsoft or with Office 365, then you can go ahead and use that single sign-on to also log into TickTime Calculate on your desktop. You don't have to enter in your email and password. Also, send for signature. If you're using TickTime Calculate, now you can send any PDF document for e-signature right through the TickTime Calculate toolset. So you just click add signatures and place the signatures on there and hit send, and it goes right through the signatures feature of SafeSend. All right, to some of the bigger items, SafeSend returns. Okay, so first, in-office signing. Now, some of you may have heard of this, but what in-office signing does is it allows you to start the signing process or the return process for your client if they're in office with you. You don't have to email it to them and have them open it up through their account. They can just do it right there from your computer or an iPad or a laptop if you have it available. And that looks like this. So when we're at our Suite, formerly known as Suite screen, we will see in-office e-sign. We click that, and it will ask us to search for a client. So I'm going to simply search for Troy here, search, and I have Troy's returns. I have many of them, but we'll just stick with one, and I can hit Get Started. What this will do when I hit Get Started is launch the client experience right here on this screen. So now I can hand that iPad, hand that tablet, laptop, anything to the client, and they can go ahead and get started and go through, see the message, review their return, pay invoice, and eventually get to the signing step right here on the screen. The cool thing about this is that it's going to bypass KBA because you're right there with them. They're not having to do KBA to verify their identity. You have visually verified their identity, so they can just hit e-sign and then go ahead, enter in the information, and place their signatures on those e-file forms. Now, when you launch that in-office e-sign, it will close down that instance of your SafeSend just for security reasons. So you'd have to log back in once that client is completed. So consolidation of group returns in SafeSend returns. So when we're in SafeSend returns, we used to have two reports that showed your delivered returns and then any returns that were in a group. We've consolidated those reports to where they now live in one report. Okay, so when we're in our delivered returns, we will see all the returns here, and there will be a column that says group name. So under the group name, we can see we have the Anderson family here, group 10, group 7, and then any return that's just individual, not part of a group, will be here. So even if you send 5 returns in a single group, they will show up individually on this one delivered returns report. So it gives you the ability to search those, and if you do want to search for group names, all your group names will be listed here. You can just simply go ahead and select one, and we'll filter out that report to show all the groups. Just an easier way to navigate those things. Okay, option to disable KBA. Okay, users can now disable KBA requirements on a return by return basis. This is a big one. Okay, when we're processing a return, we really only have the options in our account to say we want to use KBA or we don't want to use KBA. And Now, when you open up a return in the delivery options, you're going to have an option that says disable KBA for e-sign of this document. So if you're sending a child's return, you know they don't have a credit history or anything like that. You're sending it to another person on behalf of somebody else, and you know they're not going to get through the KBA. You can go ahead and disable that. Just know that we do not recommend it. The IRS requires that 1040 returns must go through that KBA process, but it is your choice whether you want to disable it or not. Go into your settings, allow that option, and you can disable on a return by return basis. Okay, client and taxpayer preview enhancements. So when you go into taxpayer or client preview, taxpayer preview or client view, you'll be able to actually see the download tax documents and forward a copy of my tax documents buttons there. That way, if you're talking to the client, you know exactly where to tell them if they cannot find those options. Stripe account enhancement. If you did connect a Stripe account and you wanted to remove it or anything like that, you can now remove it without the need to add a new one. Just a little bit more flexibility. It was something that you couldn't do. You had to add a new one to replace the old one. Now you can just remove it completely. Edit client info enhancement. You can now edit and update a person's contact info for a delivered return from delivered and archived, not just delivered anymore. Due date variable, add in the group returns. So the due date variable has been added to the client instructions for group returns. Previously, it was just in the standard single returns. Now that has been expanded into the whole system. Those variables are the text tags that you can put in the messaging or the subject of your emails that replace the information with important info. Recall returns. So we revised the logic for recall returns. If you have any questions on this, please reach out to your CSM, but it's going to automatically adjust now your balance when you do recalls, making it a little bit easier. Oh, K1 downloads. Clients can now download all K1s into a single PDF with bookmarks for each shareholder. So before, when we were in SafeSend returns, and I'll close out of this return here. When we were in SafeSend returns, and a client went to download the K1s, what they would actually see on the client side when they went to download the K1s is they would get a zip file that had multiple K1s included as separate files. Now when we get to the distribute side here, and they go to either electronically distribute or download, under this download, if they select download all K1s, that will be a file now that has all K1s in it separated out by their original bookmarks. So we get one file, all K1s, and we don't need to actually do anything different for them. And then firm email notification, we updated the completed signing template to inform whether the returns were e-signed, or excuse me, the e-file forms were e-signed or manually signed, just so that you know kind of right off the bat whether someone manually signed it was completed or whether it was e-signed. Okay, so moving on to signatures. Okay, with signatures, we added parallel signing. So users can now send signature documents to all signers simultaneously or set a specific signing order. So when we are in signatures, if we want to send a document, and we'll go ahead and drag an organizer here just so that we can add something in, test, and this is we'll just call it an engagement letter. Hit next. So we have a parallel signing sequence and a custom signing sequence. So parallel signing means that all signers can sign at the same time. Custom signing sequence means that you can choose the order in which you want them to sign. So let's say I have 3 signers here. I can say parallel signing, and they will all get the document at the same time and all go to sign. Right, so we'll choose signers for these, and if I want to do a custom signing sequence, I can do that, and I simply just drag and drop in the order in which I want. So I can go ahead and choose who I want in which order, and although the numbers we're working on making sure that they dynamically update to the exact ones, just know that the order in which you have them here is the order in which they will sign. So if you also choose a CC signer, that CC signer will always get it after the other official signers. So that CC recipient will be locked in the last spot. And if you have multiple, they'll be locked in that last position also. So that's the parallel signing sequence versus the custom signing. Optional signature controls: when you're placing signature blocks and date blocks and things, you can actually set them to be required or not. That way, if the client does not want to sign, they can go ahead and skip past it. For the mail merge, those of you that use the mail merge to send out batches of engagement letters, we have introduced radio buttons. So you can actually put radio buttons there for yes/no questions, or just two options on any engagement letter for any question that you have. Those are now in there. Okay, moving to Exchange. So print function. On the Exchange, if you get a document from a client, they may include a message in there, and if you wanted to, what we can do is print. We can actually hit print, and we can print that log of the subject, the date and time that it was sent, who it was to or who it was from, the message, and then see the attachments too. This has been a requested item for these exchanged items for a little while now, so we're happy we can bring that to you. Okay, shared folders. So in the web add-in, we have added the ability to share folders across each other. So you just simply open that web add-in in Outlook, and in there you can share folders, you can access other folders and things. This is previously just on what we're calling the portal or the web account, but now it is on the web as well. Enhanced document request list notification. So we enhanced the notification system to better inform the clients when the document request lists are completed or reopened, improving the communication between you and your client. So basically, when you reopen things or the things are completed, we're making sure that you get those notifications quickly in a timely manner, and they have a little bit better information in them, so you know exactly who completed, when they completed, and what they completed there. Okay. Enhanced document request list templates. So you can now assign categories to the templates. So if you did create document request list templates so that you didn't have to create them manually every time, you can now put them into categories in the settings. And that way you can choose from a category and then choose your actual specific template. So pretty cool. Document request list history reporting. So just like you had a sent and received items history, they now include information from the document request list. So as items go into the document request list, that report will get updated, just giving you better, clearer transparency in your tracking. And then in the SafeSend Exchange settings, we updated the settings visually to just kind of provide clarity for you folks, matching it to the other settings in the entire system. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the July 27th release. If you folks have any other questions on what I just covered, please reach out to us. Reach out to our support team or your customer success team. Again, introducing Gather AI, many improvements to returns and signatures and exchange. These are very exciting things. I'm personally very excited about disabling KBA on a return by return basis, group returns being merged into the one delivered returns report, using TickTime Calculate to send signature documents, and more of the things that we went over. Linked down below in the description will be the link to these release notes, and you can go ahead and click that to read everything we just went over. I did skip over a couple items, so you can go ahead and read there. Otherwise, again, please visit us at SafeSend.com. Take a look at our help center. Reach out to your customer success manager for more information on what came out. I really appreciate you folks sticking around for this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.